Okay, it is 6:03 PM and I am calling the meeting for Wednesday, July 17th, 2024. The regular meeting of the Board of Trustees to order. So let's start with period for public expression.
I want to take a moment to introduce, this is a big audience for us. It's like the most people ever. So I do want to introduce, Ryder Esposito, our first, Pathway to Success Scholarship winner. He is here. He is here with his parents, Jeff and Diana. And then also in the audience is Mr. Robert Cook, who is our scholarship funder. You guys have anything to say? No crash. You don't have to say anything.
Ryder, did you already speak?
You
Did we go into the back?
No, we can't even imagine how much, like, this was an honor and really just, we appreciate this so much. Like, honestly, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for selecting Ryder. It's like, we're very proud of him. I mean, we think he's gonna do great things, so.
We'll be watching.
In a very non-threatening way.
Congratulations, Ryder, and thank you, Mr. Cook, for making this possible.
Thank you.
Yes, and thank you so much also.
Yes, thank you, Mr.
So we can do the presentation of scholarship. Diane, do you want to present this?
Wait, we're gonna take pictures.
I have Emily here to
Emily's
take
here.
pictures on the official
Go ahead.
government social media phone. So, here we go. You want to stand up? We can use it for the walls.
Nice background.
And you weren't wearing shoes too. Okay, so there you go. Maybe, hold on, there's like that max.
Yeah.
Sign shooting at my head.
All right. Ready? Oh, wait, no, like, hold on, sorry. I'm now working around, like. One. All right, I took like 4.
Yeah, but get
Okay.
proud of it.
All right, and maybe we can get, mom and dad, do you want to be in the photo, Mr. Cobb?
Mr.
Yes.
Yes.
Think the whole crowd, because.
Let's see.
Yeah, Kelly and Diane, get everybody in. Yeah.
Happy
Because it will look better against the white background and have more people.
Yeah.
Right, ready?
Nice.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Next year, we're gonna have the big check.
I said I was gonna make a big check and I was told, don't make a big check. I'm gonna get my check.
Check out of it.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
That's what she
Best of
said.
luck.
You know it's gonna
When
happen.
do you go? When do you leave?
August 16th.
Okay, very nice. You have orientation too?
I had it last Friday.
Okay, so we timed this meeting perfectly.
Yeah.
And you know it's gonna
Playing
happen.
soccer, so.
Okay.
Maybe it was a little bit early and.
Very nice.
We're gonna run into you and you're going to say, he's graduating next week. That's not gonna happen.
Way too fast.
It does. Enjoy every moment.
It's great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good work.
Thank you.
Good work.
Thank you so much.
I feel bad.
Don't They need to leave, unfortunately, the 8 of you have to stay with me just a little longer.
Bye, enjoy your summer. Thank you. Okay.
So I do want to just mention, while we're on the scholarship topic, we have additional funds to, give out this year. We're hoping that we'll get a little more press now that we've given out our first scholarship, but, the scholarship committee decided to do this as more of a rolling scholarship because not everybody is sort of lined up with a traditional like school in the fall. You know, somebody might start spring semester, or it might be a winter program, or whatever the case may be. So we want to be able to meet people where they are and fund them where they are. Okay,
Can I ask a question?
sure.
I know you asked for submission of I guess essays and so forth and so on. How did you do that?
So what we did is we put ads in the local paper.
Right?
So we ran an ad, we put it on our website, we published it through our e-blast list, we put it on our social media, which is Facebook, TikTok, Instagram. We also went down to the food pantry and we publicized it with the individuals who use the food pantry. And then we also publicized it with the individuals who come in for our English as a next language classes. And they're encourage them to get the information out to their friends and family as well.
And did you, I know the first one, did you get, a fair number of people,
We only got a couple,
right?
which is why we sort of felt like we wanted to we felt like because it sort of lined up with the end of the school year, and going to the fall semester, if you will, we sort of felt like maybe when people saw scholarship in their brains, it was scholarship for a high school student going to college, not necessarily a scholarship for anyone and everyone. So the goal is to really push that out, that if somebody, ended up taking a gap year or didn't finish high school or is working towards becoming an EMT or becoming, like looking for additional mechanic certifications, that they would have that in the back of their head and they would be able to.
Yeah, I mean, I think the fact that you're gonna have a rolling, apply anytime
Yeah.
approach will mean a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, because as you say, the mentality is, school, apply to school, apply for a scholarship, at one point during the year and
Yeah.
also, traditionally, it means, going to some college
Yeah.
and studying liberal arts, something, the fact that, and I think you should, maybe you have, published the idea that this covers the whole spectrum of careers. Mechanic,
Yeah.
physical therapist, nurse,
Yeah.
et cetera, et cetera. So, and I think also that, having now awarded one, people can see it's real.
Yes.
Actually,
Yes, and that's sort of what we were feeling as the scholarship committee. I don't want to speak necessarily for the committee, but the idea was, let's award one, let's let people see,
He's a good recipient.
Yeah.
They're very well liked.
and then also, if we can get a little coverage in the local paper where we can expand upon what the scholarship does, that would be helpful.
yeah, and when you, basically publish back to award the scholarship, I think it's important to emphasize that it isn't over.
Yes. Yes.
By the way, I don't know if you know, but he has to now that he's enrolled in the program, he has to go for a doctorate,
Yes,
7-year program. It's a big deal.
it is a big deal.
And apparently, the rule now is you're not even allowed to function as a physical therapist in the future unless you have this doctorate.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So it's got a long road.
He does have a long road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has that kind of stuff.
Anyway,
Not about doctorate.
thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was a good kickoff.
It was.
Yeah, before I continue, I thought that this year, this spring, we had a college graduate here, that is your son, high school graduate over there, and a kindergarten graduate. So we kind of covered the whole spectrum here for us. Okay, so let's move on. Has everyone had a chance to look at the minutes? And can I get a motion to approve them?
I move to approve the meeting.
Okay.
I'll second them.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay. Friends.
The friends are on holiday.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. Okay, take it away, Elliot.
Okay. Treasurer's report.
I pull it up.
I will have to warn you, it's a very positive one. So this is not just, a regular monthly report, it's also the end of the second quarter, at the end of June. And so we're halfway through the year, which is hard to believe. And we're in really excellent financial position. If you look down at the June 2024 column, you'll see that our total of current and invested assets is 5,695,172. That's actually, it's more than it was at the close of last month. And it's actually more, as you glance over to the right-hand side, it's more than we had at the end of June in 2023, which is kind of mind-boggling since we spent all that money on the blow up and the HVAC problems and everything else. So it's great. It's very good news. It means that the budget is, things are running very tightly with the expenses and also that we're doing well with a number of the income areas. So this is very good news. To zero, the mortgage is, of course, just keeps going down. It's 4,396,660. It was over 5 million a year ago, so we're getting there. We have another 5 years to go. But of course, the allowance covers it, so we're okay. To focus in on the specific month of June, it's not March, this is a typo. We have to get these dates out of the boilerplate. We work on a boilerplate, so I turn something in a boilerplate, I go over to her, and then, so we got
I
the,
don't understand why it's there because I absolutely corrected it. I don't.
I told you this afternoon, I couldn't find any of the stuff you'd sent me yesterday. Because, I don't know, my computer, I don't know what
It
your
is.
computer's on. Okay, anyway, so June, let's look at June. Expenses were very low, so that's a good place to start, 257.55. And the income, 432.07, means we actually had a positive net for the month, which is not that typical. Now, tax sources were the reason for most of that, but we also had very good month for contributions, 11,990. Kelly would like me to mention that, 10,000 of that
Yes.
is one chunk, which is already designated, but it's a contribution, it doesn't matter. It's money coming in, which is wonderful. So 11,990 in contributions, and then financial income, 23,194. So those two areas were very helpful in this bottom line situation for June, and there were no real red flag expenses. I'm gonna jump ahead, I don't usually do this, I'm gonna jump ahead to the bill payment list, the warrant, because there are a couple of big expenses there. The warrant is on the high side, 136.79, and there are two, count them, two very large health premium insurance payments in there, amounting to like about half of this is just those two checks. So, and that takes a little bit of the shine off of June, but not that much. It still was a very, very good month. Obviously, the best way to evaluate the situation is the year to date, which is our part 3. So second quarter, it's easy, it's 50% we should have spent. And in fact, we spent 48.58%. So we were under half of our expenses for the year, which is great. Income is less meaningful because of the way we receive our income, but we have 75% of it in already. And we have another 25% still coming. Matter of fact, we got a very big check or 2 checks or something like right at the turn of the month.
Yes.
So we had like more than $1 million.
Yeah, so
Beyond what's here.
the school payments are complete with the exception of the pilots.
Yeah. So what that means is it's very clear that we have enough money now in our cash drawer, the tax budget line, to cover our expenses for the rest of the year. Given what we know now about what happened at the beginning of July. So that's great. That means that the only thing we'll have to look at is the effect of whatever deposits or early payments we make on the HVAC project, which will be coming out of the cushion number. But we're in very good shape. And I hope that means that we won't have to touch any investments until 25. We might have to move some money to put it in place, but we're going to continue to receive a good amount of interest through the end of 24, which is great because we're gonna need it. We're gonna, as you'll hear later, we got a big budget next year and we've got some big expenses coming up. Okay, now looking at specific items, the ones that we've been watching were 5,000, 6,000, and 8,000 expenses. The 5,000 program expenses is at 62%, which is a little higher than it should be. But we've been saying all along that we want to beef up the programming, and as long as we're staying within a reasonable range here, I think it's fine. And so that one that one at 62. Administrative expenses, which I was a little bit nervous about last month, it seemed high. Now it seems to be leveling off, and I guess what's going on is that certain consulting payments and so forth, and some kinds of things that we pay on an annual basis, we pay early in the year, and they're paid up now, so we're not going to expect this. No, it's probably going to continue to level off. And I don't think that administrative expenses line is going to end in the red at all. I don't think so, which is great. Then the big number, of course, is the B&G. We're now at 99.94% of our budget for the year as of June. We're probably over it now. But we knew that was happening. And the positive here is that the overages that we're seeing in contributions and financial income should be more than enough to offset even this B&G number, as bad as it is. Of course, a lot depends on how much else we spend in the next 6 months, but knock on wood. But I think that actually it already looks pretty clear that we should end the year in a good solid position as far as the budget goes, as far as money, expenses and income. Presumably we'll have less cash at the end of the year because we will probably be putting out a chunk of money sometime between now and the end of the fiscal year. But that doesn't really affect what we're talking about as a budget performance. The budget performance should be fine, which I'm very happy to say. Okay, the two payrolls are here. They're very standard. 45,892 and 46,455. Just two payrolls this month. They're both very straightforward. So I think that's about all I have. Do you have any questions?
I had a question, and maybe, what was the $10,000 contribution earmarked for?
Writing? program?
No,
Oh.
the scholarship.
Oh,
So we.
Oh, this scholarship?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he had originally made a donation last year of $10,000. We awarded $5,000 to a scholarship winner. Made the decision to do a rolling scholarship. And then he wrote me a check for another 10,000. So we actually can potentially fund several scholarships before the end of the year.
So has he presented as like a type of schedule, or are we anticipating for it,
He's
or
sort of
like?
I think he's open, but I think at this point, he writes us a check every year.
And he may also want to see how it's going.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Because
And,
if people aren't interested in.
Yeah.
Right.
Stuff.
and I
Right.
think part of the other goal, like long-term goal, is for the scholarship to perhaps be something that other people are looking to fund as well. And that's something we sort of keep as a chunk of money, in a separate account.
I don't remember asking you, but did you, in the budgeting for this year, did you expect this 10,000 in this year?
I did,
Because we're so far, we're at like 400%, but most of that is that big check we got from,
the school.
no, the
Oh,
Wagners.
The Wagner.
The Wagner, didn't we get a big Wagner check in the fall, like 45?
No, you're thinking of the estate of Diane Sass.
Right, yeah,
So,
and that wasn't anticipated, obviously, yeah.
no, I don't count, I don't include that in the budget because it's a pass through, for lack of a better term, so it's not, it's in the budget, but
Oh, I
it's not,
see,
right?
okay,
So like,
Yeah.
in a perfect world, he funds it, we give the money out, it's not something that comes out of the regular operating budget, it's. It's. a
We don't
pass-through.
charge any administrative fee for
Yeah.
sending it out.
Exactly.
We don't need to.
yeah.
So.
Okay, any other questions for Elliot? Can I get a motion to approve the treasurer's report and warrants?
I'll make
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, treasurer's report approved. Okay, director's report.
Okay. let me go back. Um. Okay, so, oh my goodness, this summer has been incredibly busy, a little bit frustrating because I know that I have all sorts of director things that I owe you all. Like policies and handbooks and HVAC, so but the energy and the number of people in the door and the team working together has just been incredible. Like, this library is just singing. And everybody is very excited and happy. So I just wanted to say that we are busy every single day, which is wonderful.
47 kids at a story time.
We had 47 kids at story time on Friday. Yeah, and 21 or 22 at story time on Saturday. And so it has been not without its challenges. We do now need to keep the coloring sheets and the crayons with the librarian, because we have a budding artist in our midst and we haven't figured out who it is yet. Or if it's multiple kids, but a lot of crayon scribbling all over the shelves and the floor and the spiral staircase. And we're like, we're happy that you're here. You know, our children's librarians do know what's going on at the room, but this tiny little, you know, like guerrilla artist is killing us.
Sometime there'll be a coffee table book about
At
it.
some point, yeah. Or guerrilla artists, I should say. So we're working on that. And then as part of our, you know, always trying to be sustainable. I don't know how or why this is happening, but I guess individuals think that our coloring sheets, we print them for somebody to come in and just take all of them and take them home for their kids or their grandkids. And so I was talking to the children's librarians yesterday. I'm like, how's it going? They're like, we're printing hundreds of coloring sheets a day. And I was like, don't do that.
Run out.
So I'm like, we need to run out. And if somebody's like, you know, so again, that's the other reason the coloring, so that we can sort of have a conversation and be like, hey, they're for use here and we're happy for you to have them, but we're also sustainable. And if you want us to make you coloring sheets, we can, but we're gonna charge you 10 cents a sheet like we do for copies. Because, and I was like, well, that explains why we're going through paper so quickly. So other than that, which really, if that's the worst of our problems, we are in a beautiful, wonderful place.
Kelly,
but-
what's the reason for the increase in the heat?
In people in, I think some of it is the heat. I think some of it is the glow up. Families are really loving the new space. They feel like it's more comfortable to stay in the space, sort of spread out. There's other interesting, new, different things to do. I know that we've sort of been over the pandemic for more than a year now, but this truly feels like the first, like, everybody's just out and living their best lives.
There's a
And-
million people here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's a really,
Yeah.
really.
Are they
popular
locals
here.
mostly, or is it vacation?
it's both. I would say it's both. So we have our summer population, our summer locals, but we also have our local locals who are using us as well. And we have some library hoppers, which is great. As you know, all the East End libraries, because we're all so close, we sort of share patrons and have people who sort of go to the library they like the best, or like better for certain things than others. You know, I'm gonna say it on a meeting that's recorded, but it sparks joy with me when I see patrons that I know are Sag Harbor patrons who used to always use Bridgehampton, who are now using Sag Harbor again. I think that is great. Or when I see patrons who are Bridgehampton patrons using Sag Harbor, because they just like the vibe.
Do you know if it's just us or is it?
Other libraries.
Other libraries?
I mean, I think all libraries see an influx in the summer. We don't generally meet in the summer, because we're all too busy, but that's something I would have an answer for you in fall.
Yeah.
I think some of these people check the library programs, like
Yeah.
was a story hour or puppet show,
Yeah.
and that's what.
And they do what
Yeah.
works with their schedule.
Yeah.
I think the other thing that's fairly exciting that I do want to mention is we have a really good sized battle team this year. So our battle team is big. I think we have like 10 kids, 8, 10. I don't want to give you the wrong number, but I am. And so we are sharing a bus with East Hampton Library to bring the kids up to battle, which is in Hall. And then also our summer tween/teen Wagner theater program has been incredibly popular. They just met today. They're adorable. And we have, oh gosh, depending upon the week, because kids have vacation and camp are missing, we have, anywhere between 6 and 15 kids who are going to
And this
that.
is the sci-fi.
And this is I think they're doing it like Dungeons and Dragons
Yeah.
style. So it's where, I have to say, it's really been nice to see the use of the library.
Right, we just don't know what it's attributable to.
Yeah, I think we're doing a good job.
Well,
Let's
that's
attribute it to
always
that.
good.
We're doing a good job.
I want to see some data.
We're doing a good job. Yeah, it's all anecdotal.
I think you saw some data.
Uh-huh.
There were 47
Yeah,
kids.
that's
at one
story
point.
time.
No, but that's the result. I'd like to know what it is and we can continue to, build on that.
I think we've really we've hit our stride, right? So like, we've had consistency in staffing. The tea department was a bit of a revolving door there for a while. It we used to have 1 children's librarian. We now have the support of 2 full-time children's librarians. So we can do more, and we've, been actively trying different things and seeing what works and what doesn't work, and working with, people who come in and saying, what is it that you're looking for? And so, just throwing gel at a wall, and if it sticks, we repeat it. So, crayons and gel. And so, I'm trying to think what else we got going on. Gideon, our summer intern, has been fabulous. He's only here for a couple of more weeks, but, he's been working with Catherine in the archives. He's been working with Teen. He's, as I mentioned, really interested in creative writing. So he's been helping with that writing group. And I think the other thing, which I loved because it meant I didn't have to do it. He came up with all the questions and led our spicy book club, book discussion last Friday, where we read Red, White, and Royal Blue. And, only one person didn't like the book, and it's because it wasn't spicy enough. So we're picking some spicy books for the fall. Oh my. And let's see, what else? Patron registration rolled out. It's really easy. People are figuring it out. What I love is people are not only figuring out how to register for things, but they're also canceling their registration if they're not able
Oh,
to
that's
come, which is awesome. Because then what the system does, it just automatically it's just
Oh, for programming, you
for
mean?
programming, yeah, it pulls the people off the wait list, and it's great. So we're very excited. One thing I did want to mention to all of you, tell your friends and family, we've been doing a lot of pushes for it, but it's still a little sluggish because everything takes time to catch on. Many of our museum pass venues are print on demand museum passes now, so you can certainly come to the library and we'll print it for you. But you can go online and, if you want to go to see me for puppies and pajamas and whatever the case may be, you can actually just go, select your date, print your pass at home, or, save it to your phone, and you don't have to come to the library, take out the pass, return it the next day. And that also means that we can circulate them more frequently. Before, when you had to come into the library for a pass, it was a 3-day process, like 1 day to pick it up, 1 day to.
So is there still limit to the number, like if I print out a pass for something?
Yeah, it's still only 1 person can use it a day. Because that's what we pay for. The other thing I do want to mention is that we have a lot of discounted tickets that venues are offering to libraries. So Slish Splash has a discounted ticket. There's the code is on our website if you go to the museum passes page. Gateway Playhouse does discounted tickets for whatever show, whatever their current adult show, whatever their current show for adults is,
Margarita.
Stone Spicy Book Club. They will, Margaritaville, I think it's like a 50% discount or something like that. It's a really good discount, but you have to contact the library for the code because they're individual coupon codes. Adventure Park, Long Island, we have discount tickets for Horton's Flower Farm. And then also we recently added the 9/11 Memorial and Museum. They just started offering a library pass, so if that's something of interest to you. Let's see, we're inching our way through the permitting process. I'll save that for when I have updates on that, but we'll discuss it under old business. I'm going to be on the Library Pros podcast at some point. We were talking about unintended barriers for library service, which is actually something I'm giving a talk on at NYLA this year. We have new library cards. We ran out of library cards and we used it as an opportunity. We were like, I wonder if we could do like different ones, you know, to sort of like, if kids thought it would be fun to have something different than the traditional one. So we have 6 new library cards because we could do 6. So we have our traditional card. We have our bubbles, which match the banner, our parade banner. We have 2 John Germaniac cards. This one's very cool because it goes this way instead of this way. And then we have 2 sort of child-friendly cards. So we have this one, which is a little owl, and then this one with Suzanne the Dragon. And they have little quotes that you have to have good eyes to read. So this one, of course, says the only thing that you need to that you absolutely have to know is the location of the library. And then, because I think I'm funny, I put the address of the library underneath. And then we also have this one, which says, but then every librarian needs to be a little bit of a dragon, or else who would guard the books?
Can we see this?
Yeah.
Do we have electronic cards for phone, your phone?
We don't have an electronic card per se. You can certainly use, there's apps that exist where you can take all of your cards and put them in like your e-wallet.
Right.
And you could certainly do that with your library card, you know, like you would with your like CVS card and your wall bounce card, wall bounce.
No, it's not even Chuck's.
It's still yellow. Can I get a new one?
You may get a new card, but you cannot collect all 6.
No, but I want the Suzanne one.
You-
I want
we
the
can-
Suzanne one.
I
We
know,
can do
I have
that
the old
for
yellow
you.
one too.
I have it on.
I
So
didn't know
we're
about
working
this.
on
Oh my
a
God.
little like thing that we can hand out when
I don't know
people
what
say I
yours
want a
is.
library card. It's like a first
This
picture,
could be
it's
like
fine.
around
And then-
2000.
It's like you're buying checks.
Yeah, like you're buying checks.
And
you're
gonna run out of Suzanne ones just.
Probably.
Classic.
I know.
I got it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Or
my
you can
goodness.
keep the super classic like Elliot's.
Yep.
So that is what we were very excited to do.
Oh,
when it
yeah,
came.
yeah, yeah,
That's really old.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my
Wait,
goodness.
which one is that?
Wow.
Which one
That's
is
the
that?
one I have.
I have, this one is like, I don't know, from,
Oh, yeah.
that's very. it's-
Oh,
I did.
Oh, now everybody's gonna, how,
me
I don't
too.
even have a library card.
I think it's made for computer.
I just say my name and they look.
Oh,
at
yeah.
the time.
Guilty as
Oh,
charged.
It's a really nice design.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I said.
It was Wanda and I.
Uh-huh.
Wanda and I, you know, like, and that were occasionally.
See, I don't see
Sure.
my library card in my wallet because I want to say this one. It's so just.
We get 2.
That is.
One for use and one for.
Birth certificate.
And you get 2, one to use and one just for posterity.
One for funsies.
Yeah, for collecting.
I should have saved one.
Like,
Good job, guys.
Thank you. So no changes to the personnel report. If you look at our statistics, you can see, this is June, it's not July, but we've been just a scooch busy. And I think we just exist in a world where we're gonna have to start talking about data in terabytes instead of gigabytes. Because we just, everybody lives on my, right? Lives on there.
Is there any, did summer kickoff do like particularly well compared to last year or anything?
You know what was interesting is summer kickoff, the event itself was smaller than it was in the previous year. But it had to be a little bit earlier, than we normally do it. We don't normally do it as early as the 15th. And that's because both Emily and Ginta were traveling at the end of June. But I believe our registration numbers are already, for summer reading, are already higher than they were last year for the entire year. So people have come in and signed up and are still registering.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, we're excited. We're killing it, man. So that's my report. Everything is wonderful. Because we are awesome, and that is the factual data that might.
Yes.
We're awesome. Put that in your notes.
Reasons, man. I don't know why. The numbers are great, but we gotta know why.
Because when the library is happy and the staff is happy and we're all doing what we love and we're engaged, like the community senses that and it brings them in.
Are you getting more surveys back?
We are. I will talk about that. I can talk about that when we talk about outreach and or policy and long-range planning.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Oh, so there's no changes, but I think you still have to accept the personnel report.
Yeah,
Oh,
you gotta print that, okay, you gotta waste a piece of paper.
you have the personnel report? Okay.
Yeah.
So can I get a motion to
I move that we
approve?
approve the personnel report.
Okay.
And I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
With the
Okay,
exception of
personnel
wasting the paper.
report motion passes. Okay, on to committee reports. So, personnel. We've got to meet maybe by early September.
Yeah.
We will, yeah, we'll
We gotta
meet
do that.
after I get back from vacation.
Yeah,
All right, that's,
okay,
that's fine,
we can do that.
absolutely.
Finance, budget,
We did indeed meet to review Kelly's proposed budget, which you're gonna be hearing all about.
Yeah.
And we approved it, say that.
Unanimous.
Yes,
okay, buildings and grounds.
Buildings and grounds did not meet, but in lieu of the public hearing, we should probably meet in the upcoming weeks.
We can meet when I get back from vacation.
Hey, you know what? You're gonna be sorry you said that. I'm gonna put all your meetings on the day after you get back from vacation.
I made sure that wasn't on Monday, so,
Take the day off.
all right.
Okay, policy, long-range planning.
We did not meet, but we will meet as soon as we have surveys in hand and then we need to meet.
So I'll let you know that every time we push it out via social media or e-blast, we get a couple of more. I spoke with the youth services librarians. I did start looking at the survey results. They're very positive, which is nice, but in terms of the demographic that has taken the survey, we are missing the younger demographic of patrons. And since 47 of them are here for story time once a week, I asked that we make sure that we're getting our parents and our older students to take the, and to make sure it's at the top of the children's, or in the children's e-blasts, the family programming ones. Like I said, everything has been really positive. We have, I think, like 70-ish online. And then probably, oh gosh, I didn't count them, but probably maybe another 50 in print. Nancy is in the process of taking the print ones and inserting them into SurveyMonkey so that I can let SurveyMonkey run all the analytics and hand you one document instead of two.
Can I ask a question about surveys?
Yeah.
Are those being just delivered to people who are already in the library system? Or are we looking to engage other community members who aren't users of the library?
We are looking to engage other community members. Part of the reason we're sort of extending the survey a little bit longer is to make sure that we have that opportunity. So, you know, we still have to get some down to like the windmill. Although that's usually a lot of travelers. We have been to the food pantry, so we made sure all the volunteers at food pantry, have taken it. We made sure the clients of the food pantry have taken it. We still need to get some out into the community, so that's on our
Is
list.
there a metric that you're using to determine?
Who and where?
Yeah,
We're just trying to spread them as widely as possible. You know, we want to get some down to the fire department. I'm gonna reach out to Ellen at the Chamber of Commerce to push it to the chamber. And, you know, we have a pretty good following on social media of people who don't necessarily use the library. So we feel like social media is a good way to push it as well, and we have asked people to, if you see it on social media, to also share it. So, and that's something we have, I think it's gonna be worked on this.
because obviously you're trying to satisfy the people that are
Yeah.
using the library.
Yeah,
It is
Yes,
geared towards people that are using the library. I mean, it's not, this isn't one of those things where you say, you know.
Yeah.
You've never been to the library, here, fill out this survey and tell us what you want.
Yeah.
Because the questions just,
But
specific.
by the same token,
but
wouldn't we
we do
want to
still
know,
have
We do
questions
wanna
that are
know.
like,
expand the base?
Yeah, we do
Yeah.
want to know that, but this survey is not going to tell us that.
yeah, I mean, we do have questions saying if you don't use the library, why don't you use the
Yeah.
library, which is helpful,
Mhm.
but it is
then
also
the other
kind of hard
pages of it
to
don't.
get people to take the survey if they don't use the
I
library,
mean, you
right?
could have a thing saying you don't need a library card to answer
Yeah.
a survey, but.
So, but, like I said, people have been genuinely incredibly positive.
Yeah, well, the people generally are gonna take a survey,
Yeah.
are actively engaged, and you have to believe that they are going to have some opinion on that.
Yeah, when people are taking the survey, they're either taking it because they're happy or they have beef. We really haven't had too much beef.
But I'm just wondering, what's our goal here? Is the goal not only to serve those people, but also to expand?
The goal is to expand.
Well, and also.
What are we doing about that?
Well, the true goal for this survey, though, was to give us a framework to work on our long-range planning.
Yeah,
Um,
and part of long range planning is bringing in.
Is
individuals
bringing
who are
in
not
new
using the
people,
library.
but.
But how are we gonna know that if we're not reaching people that?
Well, I
are
think
not
you
going?
know information, you know, like sort of doing a survey and collecting information. It's the feedback that you get, but also the feedback you don't get, right? So like right now, when we look at the direct demographics, if we're seeing like there's a specific demographic that isn't necessarily answering the survey, is that because we are not getting those individuals, or is it that because those individuals don't use the library? And then why are those individuals not using the library, right? Like if when you talk about, and I'm gonna get so in the weeds, I'm so sorry. You know, when we talk about unintended barriers of library service, and we talk about, why people aren't using the library, there needs to be the recognition that people who are not using the library are living what they believe are their lives happily without using the library, right? So a lot of when it comes to outreach and going out and seeing why individuals aren't using the library is not saying, hey, we bought all of these books in, you know, like in Russian, because we know we have a huge Russian population. And look, we have these things for you, come in and read it, right? Like they're living their best lives not using the library. Like we sort of need to meet people where they are and listen. And that's all part of the strategic planning process. The survey is just one tool, and we recognize that we are not going to capture all of the information that we are looking for, but it does help us to see, you know, sort of know what we don't know to a certain extent, right? Like, as long as the committee, and we can be open to, all right, this is the information we have, we know what we know, but we also can be open to, you know, we don't know what we don't know and what that might be.
But that's the trick. How do you
Yeah.
find out what you don't know?
We'll figure it out.
I mean, but part of it is. We can't make people take the survey, so we can't, I mean,
So
We
maybe the
could be-
survey isn't, I mean, we're looking at the survey to help us. And
But it's not the,
granted,
it's not
a
one
limited
thing,
tool.
right?
it,
Right.
yeah, exactly, it is a limited.
It's a limited tool. I just want us to acknowledge
Yeah,
that.
it is a limited tool. It is going to be, it's a limited tool, but it will be also one of the and probably the only tool we have where it will not be based on the opinion of one of the 9 people in this room. I mean, we'll have, the staff can give us some other information, but a lot of it is trying to get information that's not limited to my opinion, your opinion, and, because we seem to be a pretty consensus board. So if we can find information that's outside, it may be that we are pretty attuned to what other people are thinking, in which case, you know, the survey may just be supporting what we believe, but we're hoping that if there's a huge group of people who are not telling us directly, and have a lot of complaints about the library and have a lot of ideas of how to change it, that we may be getting an inkling of what it is in the survey, but we can't make people answer that question.
No, I'm not criticizing, I'm just saying it seems, you know, it's like when you see these political polls.
Mhm.
You say, okay, this person's up, that person's down, or whatever, yeah, but who are you surveying?
Exactly, yeah, so
You know, and
know that
in order for us to get an accurate read.
Yeah.
And it's not also about getting a read, you know, because we're trying to engage and cast a much larger net.
yes,
And whether it's a survey or some other mechanism, how do we find out that information?
you know, one of the things that would be helpful is for, and I'll send the links out to you all via email, before I leave tonight. But if you could make actively send it out to your friends, to the people in the community, to your contacts. Because I'm sure you are all friends and perhaps family of people who do not use the library, and sort of say, hey, we're doing this for the library. I don't know if you're a library user or a supporter, but if you could go ahead and help us out, it would be helpful, and pass it along. You know, because a lot of getting the survey out to people who don't use the library is really word of mouth.
I have a question. So in total, now you have about 120.
Yeah,
How many people vote for the library budget?
Big year was like.
120.
No,
but yeah.
There's got
Yeah.
to be a relation between those two numbers, so maybe.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
a certain extent.
No, but that's the people that we know that care.
I
that
can't-
give to the
you know,
library that. take-
So how do you then how do you get more people to come to vote? You know,
Well,
it's
that's all, I can
That's
reach the people who are, you know, like tractor pull competitions in NASCAR or whatever it is, you know, maybe they're gonna.
But
they're gonna
also,
start everybody.
keep in mind, the people who come in to vote are district residents. Some of the people who have filled out our survey are not necessarily district residents, are district residents who are registered to vote in Sag Harbor, right? So we have people who have taken the survey that live and work in Sag Harbor and use our library, but aren't tax-paying residents, right? Because we care about the opinions of everybody who's presumably, of everybody using the library, not just
Yeah.
the.
And I mean,
Just, the survey is what it is, right? And if you want to seek beyond that, then we have to do something different.
And I understand.
more outreach than the actual survey, because this is, I mean, the survey is we're trying this we're using it a little bit for outreach, but its purpose is not to get more people. It's just to get more.
Well, it's to find out information, but that's, right, it's an
Yeah.
information gathering tool.
But the other thing is, I mean, my husband has never will never do the survey. Dave has never once had a library card in his entire life, and sees no reason to change that. I think he's nuts.
Man after my.
I mean, he wants to take conversational Spanish. When I told him he had to get a library card, he goes, "Oh, no, I'm not gonna do that."
He does not have to get a library card to take them.
Trying to get him to get into the law.
Well, now you can tell, maybe if you show him that we have 6 new awesome designs.
Yeah,
I feel like that, yeah.
that might do it.
But also
Yeah.
there are people who live and work in our community who don't want to have a library card. And part of the reason they don't want to have a library card is that, you know, libraries are government institutions, and they very much are in other countries. And so it's one of those things, like, I'm giving you a lot of personal information about myself, I'm concerned about giving that information out, right? Or I'm happy to come to programs, but, you know, and I'll read your print newsletter, but I don't want to get a library card because you require my email, and if I give you my email, you're going to spam me with all of your programs like every other organization. So it's one of those. I understand what you're saying. I think we're all sort of saying the same thing. I think a nice way to sort of wrap this up and move on, might be to say, we understand that the survey as a tool has its flaws, but we will also gain good information out of it, and it will not be the only thing sort of running the strategic plan train. Is that fair?
Okay.
In terms of policies, and this is related to you all and policy committee and personnel, I'm almost done with the employee handbook. I will get it done before I leave on
Oh, wow.
vacation. That being said, I am going to leave it for Wanda to proofread, so you all don't think that I can't read good. I just can't type well.
Okay.
And then I will get it out
Thank you.
to,
That was a huge.
yeah, and a lot of it is just figuring out what we have and we need, and then taking the policies that we have and folding them in. So, and I will have policy binders when I get back to everyone for the policy committee, with all of the policies, and I will mark each one of the policies we have to work on.
Have a
So
nice long vacation.
I'm taking a nice, and I maybe am taking some of it with me for my 11-hour plane ride. So you will be
How old was your son?
7. My husband's like, he'll fall asleep, and I was like, he'll sit next to him. They keep asking if I can just upgrade and.
They have movies
later.
on the plate. They love it.
We do. So we'll see. So that's everything I have for policy and long range planning. I know I've promised you things for a long time, and you're gonna get them.
Okay, ready? Outreach, public relations?
We haven't met and, I was thinking that it probably doesn't make sense to meet until the results of the surveyor and to see what kind of gaps or information.
All right, Nash Park met last week right here. And a couple of things, we started with a presentation. You may have been aware, on June 17th, the Department of Public Works did a presentation. The public was invited. Did anyone go to that? Okay, so there's a big project that's kind of starting now. They're working on the design. They're going to design the whole turnpike. Installing, changing the grade, and deal with flooding issues. They're gonna put in bike lanes, sidewalks. So construction will start in middle of 2026. But the reason I'm talking about this and the concern for the park was they have a proposal to redesign the intersection by the Getty station. And the village also has its own idea. So the village has to meet with them because they are two different plans. Because the proposed improvement given by the DPW doesn't show an entrance in and out of the park. So it has to be done.
Is that a problem?
No, that could probably be the best thing, but I mean, it definitely, that has to be addressed, and their plan, it's just really like.
So they're gonna have to stop all their trucks on.
The village wants to put in a rotary and change the entrance to the park.
They did a rotary over that thing and it failed.
They got a plan for a bigger, better one. But that would involve changing the entrance to the park. I mean,
Park needs to
even,
be changed, entrance, that's
and it's a
terrible.
nightmare now. It's horrible. So there's something to be worked on. So I just wanted to mention that. And the park is hopping. If you think it's crowded in here, you should see that playground. It looks like Queens, right? 24/7 with kids, unbelievable. But a lot of park uses, a lot of little camps, baseball programs, tennis, a lot
Are
of stuff
they
going
doing
on.
their community camp?
Pardon me?
Emily used to go to this.
Oh, the park camp.
Park camp.
Well, what has happened with park camp over the years is that the town runs it using Mash Park, not giving the park $1, but I'm not going there. But the enrollment has dropped significantly because like when our kids were young, like everybody went to park camp. They had big,
Emily
it
did
was
it.
big, right? Every Sag Harbor kid went. the enrollment is minuscule now, because I think parents are doing, so many other things, and that addressed the needs of a certain population at a certain time. Now everybody's spending $1 million doing.
Well, it was also half a day.
Yeah, it was only.
Yeah, but I mean, it's changed. There's just so many more offerings now. So whatever, so that's what's going on there. And then the 5K race is going to be on September 18th. And we are looking for sponsors, so we have categories between $250 up to $10,000. So if anybody knows somebody it's in the community or business owner that I could approach.
Is the library contributing?
We can,
Can we
like,
do
we do-
250?
we can do 250. What do I get for 250?
You get a sign, or a sign.
Are we on the shirt?
No, oh, maybe, yeah, they list everybody in the shirt at the end. Yeah, they list
Okay,
everybody on
so
the
bounce it up to 500.
500
Make a
gets you,
motion, Michael.
wait,
Make a
wait,
motion.
wait, let me, excuse me. For $500, you get your business name on the back of the shirt.
Yeah.
And a race, and also on the race website, or a sign with business name.
We
Yeah,
we can consider that, publicity and outreach.
Absolutely.
That's good, those
So,
things last forever.
Yeah,
Sure.
So I can certainly,
so at what level do you want? $500
$500.
gets you on it.
What is $1,000 get you?
whoa, whoa, whoa,
That's
whoa,
the way.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
This is something.
What is the highest you can donate?
Whoa, whoa.
$10,000.
$500 is one thing. I donate $5,000. Al's gonna be like, I'm sorry, no.
10K, come on, we can.
Well, $1,000, you get your business logo on the back of the shirt, but there's too much room. That's not worth it,
No.
because I think the $500
$500
secret level.
The
We do
500
have,
is in my budget.
we do
Yeah,
have
but then we get
10,000.
under, John Ott, cesspool service or whatever.
We do not want to be under the cesspool. We want to be above the
Above the
cesspool.
cesspool. I mean, we're gonna have to do more than
Like the main
$500,
sponsor.
that's it.
I'm
Isn't
not
it
running
Shelley
this
Back?
race as a either, so don't get that ahead.
They donate a lot, a lot of people, yeah, so, I mean, it's,
Yeah, and you get a lot of sponsors. We already have one $10,000 sponsor.
who's that?
Rob Cressberg, who runs the tennis program.
Oh, yeah.
He did last year too. He is rocking it out of the park. He's doing that
Good for him.
standing job.
He does a nice
He
job,
does a great job.
yeah,
He's
and he
fantastic.
pays.
Yeah, he pays his, yeah,
Pays.
but what? He's
He's
like, he's totally awesome. He's like
Do I,
a legend.
can I just do it online? Or is that a form?
I'm gonna give you a phone.
What is $750 get you?
It's nothing.
Is it furniture?
Oh,
Don't get
Come on, 10K, Michael, let's go bigger, go.
Are we
Where
going
are the
to,
shirts?
okay. 37 o'clock, Michael. I know you want to
It
get.
would be nice to put our logo on
Dinner's great.
for the nonprofit rate of $500.
Is there a nonprofit rate? We get the non.
No, but I'm just saying, like, maybe
You
they
know
use
what?
our space. Maybe we-
It's not, this is like a little tiny organization.
I
that's-
know.
That's it.
Okay, so are we gonna take a vote on, we need to vote on this?
No.
No, just do it. Okay, so I'll just do it.
Sorry. However, I will be taking matching trustee donations, Michael, if you would like to donate at a high rate.
I'll do whatever you wanna do, it's, it's fun, it's nice, it's in the community.
Michael's gonna donate 10K.
There you go.
Yeah, maybe they'll be nice to me now that I've been
Okay.
All right.
Okay, let me continue. So that is all the news that's fit to print from the park.
Well,
Ad
news is
hoc.
good news.
Ad hoc one for the books.
Didn't we just have that?
Yeah. So, can we continue this meeting?
Oh, yeah, make a motion to disband the.
Make a motion.
I'll second it. All in
Really
favor?
disbanding. I love that.
Yeah. All in
That's the
favor?
Next administration.
And then
Aye.
what, start
It's
it up
off.
again?
If we need to, because it's an ad hoc committee, so,
Yeah.
so we just cross it out, we don't need it on there.
We did the same with the scholarship one.
No.
No, scholarship.
Yeah, committee actually
Scholarship's
has work to do, and I think scholarship should probably meet again by September, so that we can discuss implementing some of the ideas we had at our meeting.
Now, that brings up another interesting procedural point, because there's only so many standing committees, everything else is deemed an ad hoc committee. So, you know, this is not going to be, is it gonna be a standing committee or is this something that we
It's
necessarily have
an
to
ad hoc committee.
reauthorize
We
every year?
reauthorize it every year at reorg. And then if at some point the board wishes to make it a standing committee, that requires changing our bylaws. Changing our bylaws requires a specific procedure, which is really just, I think,
It's simple.
it's a simple enough procedure, but it's not like we could make a motion today to make it a standing committee. You
Right.
it has to,
Has to be noticed.
Yeah.
And then take a
At
vote.
the, at our reorganizational meeting,
Yeah,
you're speaking
yeah.
specifically
Yeah,
of
But
the
that's something,
scholarship.
Yeah.
it's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
That might want,
Yeah.
we might want to make that a standing committee at some point.
Yeah.
Scholarship, okay. So enough for committees, all done. Oh, wait, ad hoc scholarship, I mean, what's there left to talk about?
I think we already talked about.
Yeah, we talked enough about that. Okay, on to old business.
HVAC. So, HVAC, let's see, we appear to have a little bit of a leak coming from one of the heat pumps. So Amron will be here tomorrow, but it's not affecting how things are running. The system is limping along. Our archives are dry, which is a good thing, but they are a little warm. Really, that's just because we're limping along and it's hot and it's humid out. But we're trying to negotiate that a little bit. The important HVAC related stuff, we are not going to be on the agenda for the planning board on the 25th.
Oh.
And that is because Tiffany sent the letter off to the planning board today. That is because what the planning board is looking for us is, of course, a planting plan, which I have not gotten from Ed yet, and the sound study. We're using the local company sound source, something with an S.
Situation.
To do the sound study. That is going to take some time. They are a little bit slammed. But that will occur in the next couple of weeks. And the sort of feeling was we wanted to give all of the information to the planning board in enough time for them to review it. Like, they don't love getting things the morning of the meeting. And then also, giving them everything they asked for, not piecemeal.
So theoretically, the August planning board meeting,
Theoretic, definitely, I don't want to say theoretically, I want to say definitely.
Okay.
The August planning board meeting, we will have all of that information. We are going to operate under the assumption that I have jumped through all of the flaming hoops. And that, we will be able to move onto ARB. So we're going to send all of that information onto ARB once we have it. To sort of, at the same time that the approval from the
Are we
planning.
giving them
board is coming in.
one proposal or are we gonna have plan B and
No.
plan C?
No.
don't give
they
them a
get-
plan B.
No,
Give
I
them
know,
one
but are we
proposal.
going to have something in reserve in case
For the
we're asked a
planting plan?
stupid question? Yeah.
Mr. Hollander, is incredibly confident that he will get us through the planning board. It's not his,
highly respected.
yes, it's his third rodeo. Maybe it's fourth.
Don't give them options.
No, I don't want to give them options, but I just want us to be prepared
Yes.
for stupid questions.
Look, it'll just be open weeping. Nobody, like, if you make a librarian cry, right? Like,
It's not like if you give a mouse a muffin.
if you give a mouse a muffin, if you make a library director cry, you'll feel really bad and just, where everybody's sort of pretty confident that this is what, like, sound attenuation, planting plan. You know,
Well, getting the
Go.
location, is.
the location was the big thing.
And the
So,
equipment's been ordered, correct?
no. So we are looking at a late spring start date and, I've managed my expectations, and I've made peace with the idea that we'll get as much of the project done as we can in the spring, and if it bleeds into June and July, that is the hand we were dealt, and we will play those cards to the best of our ability.
Good.
There's, like,
Giving out winter coats to all the staff then for the winter time?
potentially,
Just a
we have space here,
point of curiosity,
we have a fireplace.
is the heating side, given where we are now, the status quo of equipment that we have, is the heating more or less of a vulnerability than the air conditioning?
I believe the heating is less of a strain on the system.
That's good.
Um,
I'm just worried, another winter.
that being said, I think once we are keeping a close eye on our well pressures. If those pressures start to become high, I think we will probably have to do another cleaning
Yeah.
before all is said and done, which is expensive.
Yeah.
But, that should limp us
A little more.
a little, but.
Pray for global warming out there.
Yeah, it's happening.
here. We're not gonna pay anymore.
Yeah.
Climate change is here.
So that's where we're at with the
Okay.
HVAC. Everybody feels good about that?
Yeah, it's good, good
I
job.
don't feel good about it, but I understand.
Well, what can we do?
See, what can we, right? Like,
Yeah, let's
What
go.
can you do?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's where I'm at. In terms of the annual budget vote and trustee election, I finally connected with my counterpart at the school, Mr. Nichols. The email I got from him today said that his board is open to covering the entire cost of the election, or the vote. What I had said to him was, just, when we spoke, I said, look, here's the deal. We would like to resolve this amicably. If the board's plan is to split the cost between the three organizations, then we're happy to pay a third of it. If the board's plan was that the library was going to foot the bill for the entire thing and nobody else was chipping in, that's kind of not fair. And he, sort of agreed with me. He said, let me talk to my board. Let's talk to legal counsel. He's like, because I'm not really sure. And I said, well, we spoke to our legal counsel and I can tell you that, the library is under absolutely no legal obligation to pay for the votes, even if we historically have ever. I'm not saying that we won't contribute in some way, we just need to contribute in a fair way. And so I would imagine they probably went back and, had a conversation and said, yeah, that's actually pretty true. So I sent him the report that was what we spent on the vote last year. About $1,500 of it was billed to us by the school, which was for ballots and poll workers. The rest of that $6,200 was ultimately legal notices. And then I also let him know that since it is the district's vote and it is not specifically library related, the library is more than happy to review those notices to help just put an extra set of eyes on it, but we would not be submitting them this year. It will be up to the district to run the district's vote. And that's.
That's
And
open
that
up
would
a
be
can of
okay.
worms. What is the hours of the vote is gonna be? 'Cause
That's
I
what I
remember
asked you.
2 to 8,
Oh, okay.
2 PM to 8 PM?
yeah, 2 to
Okay.
8.
Is that
To
what we had
nine.
last year?
It's
Now,
exactly what it was last year.
Can they mandate full quest hours for the vote?
I mean, they could come back and say, we want to do it longer. I don't think that they would.
Legally,
It's gotta be 6 hours
6 hours.
and 2 of those hours have to be after 6 o'clock at night.
It has to be, it has to be 6 hours and 2 hours have to be not during working
Yeah.
hours. So you could be 2 hours before 9 AM. So you could be 7 to
Right.
1
Okay.
if you want it to be,
Yeah.
but nobody
Yeah.
does.
So we're scheduled for
Okay.
2 to 8 again. And we'll just see. I did say that we were still more than happy to host. And that I am more than happy to, make sure that the poll workers have snacks and dinner and are hydrated.
So there's a possibility that he could say, but you're doing it at the school.
He could, that's not something he.
I don't think you'd want to because the school,
Disrupt it.
they take over the gym
Right.
and they, for their vote, they do the art show. So
Right,
that
right,
there's a
right.
reason why they break it up
Yeah.
then.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then it affects sports. So
Right,
it's just- Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
so hope it works then.
I-
It's fine and the hours, they don't change.
so, and I did let him know that, when it's just us, we'd be happy to go back to the original arrangements. So we're good. New business, the Bowles and Vigliata retainer. He's asking for, I mean, we don't pay him a lot anyway, but that's.
We upped it
annual
up like
I
retainer.
thought that you
$25.
didn't particularly care.
No, it's not, I love, I mean, I don't.
Well, my
you
only
know, Platonic professional.
concern is because this issue that we went to, it, yeah. Be-
9
So-
times out of 10. What we call town goals about has nothing to
I
do
right,
with the school,
understand
right,
that.
just in this particular instance.
Yeah,
But we, I'm very happy with the work, Andy Marty did for us, from Walla
Whatella Shimmery.
and Shimmery.
no,
So when it comes to stuff with the school, we can
just
continue to
go there,
work with
yeah,
and,
okay,
and-
that's,
and
that
through.
works.
So we need a motion to do
Okay,
that.
a motion to accept the retainer for Olson Vigliata.
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes to retain Olson Vigliata.
So what I ended up doing, in terms of I didn't give you additional information on the dental staff because it was sort of already in the proposed budget stuff. Something that we discussed at the last meeting, was offering dental insurance as an additional benefit to the staff. If the personnel committee wants to weigh in, if I'm leaving anything out, but the personnel committee had a long conversation about it, and the sort of feeling was for $24,000, which when you're looking at a $3 million budget, really is not a make or break amount. It's a large amount of money, but not a make or break amount of money. The goodwill and the benefit as viewed by staff members is an important one and a good one for attracting and retaining staff. One of the things we also looked at and we talked about is when we looked at the other libraries in Suffolk County, it was really a mishmash of what everybody offered. Most libraries that offer dental insurance do 100% individual, and some portion of family, anywhere from 50% to 100%. And so I believe the committee was sort of like, let's fund it fully, and then revisit it if it starts to become something a little more expensive. It would be along the same parameters by which we do health insurance, which means you have to work 28 hours a week to become eligible for health insurance. That is what would make you eligible for dental. We have, dental insurance, there's individual, there's individual plus one dependent and family, which is a little bit different than our health insurance. The way NISHIP health insurance works is you're either an individual, you're a family of 2, or you're a family of 27. Like there's no plus one dependent. How finance committee, when we met and we reviewed the budget, what is green that is called?
Crayons.
What it probably is. When we spoke with the finance committee in reviewing the budget, I think the feeling was very similar. It was that in terms of the overall budgets, it's a inexpensive way to encourage staff retention, to attract new staff. And it's just, dental health is important. When we
Finance
smile-
committee endorsed it.
Yeah. when we-
So it's 100% coverage for a family, it's not just for the
It's
individual
100%,
employee?
what we have budgeted is 100% for individual coverage, for all coverage. So whether you're an individual, you are a couple, or a parent and a child, or if you are family, it would cover everyone.
And I had some questions about this, so the plan, I'm assuming you've already chosen a plan
Yes.
because you,
So the plan we're looking at is the MetLife plan, and it's actually a consortium plan that was negotiated for us by the Suffolk Cooperative Library System. So we're in the plan with other libraries in the Suffolk Cooperative Library System, which is how they come to our rates. And this seems to be, the library directors that I spoke to, they said that the plan has been really good for their staff. So people, you know, are getting coverage, they're finding doctors, they're getting the work done that they need to get done.
Is that for just association?
No, it's for all libraries in Suffolk.
Really?
Yeah, so
So
some,
they're municipal
some,
or?
yeah, so some, civil service libraries do use it. Nice Ship also offers a dental plan. We are not allowed to be in the Nice Ship dental plan because we are not a civil service library.
Okay.
That's where they draw the line, as high-end dental.
Fine.
So we could not get into Nice Ship dental. That was actually the first one I looked, I was like, it wouldn't be easy to just get in there. So the plan that we are in is MetLife. There are other libraries who use Guardian's dental plan. It is less expensive, but it kind of covers nothing. So there's, oh, is that what you have?
Yes.
Yeah, it's terrible. It covers nothing.
It doesn't cover
Um,
anything that you need to have
yeah.
done.
So the feeling was, you know, for I talked to one director who, you know, spent a lot of time fixing many things in her mouth. And she was like, if it was not for that MetLife dental plan. So, you know, what I ended up doing is I reached out to all the staff members and I said, hey, would you be willing to be a part of this plan if you had to pay into it? You know, how much we sort of ran those numbers. And then also, you know, looking at whether somebody needed individual coverage, whether they needed, you know,
Plus one or
plus
family.
one or plus family. And that's where we ended up, where we're budgeting for, like I said, it's about $24,000.
And how many employees are, is that?
Oh, gosh, it's quite a few.
18.
18, not quite 18, I can,
Oh, some people already have coverage maybe for their.
yeah, so like, that's another, like, yeah, there's like a couple of people who already have coverage through somebody else. Like, so I'm trying to think, it would be, it's all the staff members who are already on health insurance. Which is most of the staff, so you're looking at, oh, it's gotta be 15 members. Yeah, it's a lot, we have
It's fine.
23.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Do we have to vote on this, Kelly?
Yeah, because it's in the budget.
All right.
And we would start January 1st, so it's not like we would start this year because we didn't budget for it, it was for January 1st.
Okay. And is there a lead time we need?
For to start it?
Yeah.
I mean, we gotta get that's sort of also why we're starting January 1st, so like in December, we'll get everybody enrolled.
And do they have an enrollment date that they only do enrollment?
No, it's rolling enrollment, so like we could potentially, you know, we could start the enrollment process tomorrow if we wanted to, but we don't, we budgeted for 20.
I make a motion to adopt the dental insurance plan.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
So we had,
Motion passes.
hold on, we had, Michael, who seconded?
I did.
All right, so now we have the budget, and because I just thought you would like it in front of you. I did give you the proposed budget narrative, which don't read it too closely because I typed it very quickly. And like I said, I read well, I do not type well. So what we're proposing is a $126,000 increase, tax increase, which is about 5.13%, which is, for all estimates, as far as I can tell, falls below the cap. We're still waiting on the tax-based growth factor, but we are I used the one that the school used in May, which usually it does not change.
Kelly, when the budget is presented, when the language is presented, it's not gonna be bunched together like this.
No.
Separate out.
No, we have a format that we follow. This is just for your eyeballs.
Page 46.
Yeah, this is for your eyeballs.
Yeah, I'm just,
Um,
because I was just worried that.
Yeah.
I want the library budget to stand apart from some
Yes.
of the other.
so interestingly enough, are the other propositions that are on the September votes.
Mhm.
They are not required to send out a budget statement or produce a budget statement. We are required as libraries to do so, but museums are not.
But they're gonna be, it's a separate proposal.
It's a separate proposal, so what we'll do is when we put the information in the newsletter, it will look like it always does, but we will have a separate section with a box that says, please note. Propositions 3 and 4, or whatever it is, related to museums are not related to the library's operating.
Right, and then when we're on the ballot, it's gonna be a separate,
Yes, it's
Right.
separate, it's not mixed in,
So you
it's a
can
separate
vote,
proposition.
right, so you can vote for just the library and not the
Yes,
museum.
yeah, or just for the museum and not.
Not the library or both, or
Or,
either,
yeah.
yeah, okay.
So you
great.
get
You
to.
you can check those boxes or not check those boxes any which way you want.
But you're given one ballot.
You're gonna
Yeah.
want that,
Give them one back,
Right,
right,
you don't
but it's
have to
just, I
check
just
all
wanna
the
make sure
boxes,
that,
yeah.
you're right,
yes.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's amazing that museums can get their budget, but we have no idea what they're gonna do with the money.
Yes.
That
is,
take it up with your assemblyman.
yes,
Have you had any interest from people asking about the trustees for the votes?
no, we're not there yet, but,
Because it's August, you usually have to start getting your, thing.
petition, yeah,
You know, if anybody had sort of asked or
no, you know somebody?
not at the moment.
Wait, aren't we, you and I are well, turning out this year, right?
Yes,
Wait, you're not?
yes, no, it's, Elliot and I, we just had this conversation.
You got it after me. I'm not
You
turning
did.
out the next one.
You
Do I
can,
have
this is your,
I was looking forward to it.
this is
Hold on.
not,
No,
no,
I didn't either.
this is, you have 2 more years.
Oh, no.
Yes, you
No,
do.
yeah, sorry, Michael, your term runs to through twenty
Oh,
twenty-five.
shit.
So does mine, right?
No,
I'm good, now I'm gonna have to somehow edit that out.
no, Dan, you and
no.
I,
Who is it?
And
Michael is 2025, Elliot is 2025, Lisa is 2026, Diane is 2024. So Diane is actually up for
and
reelection.
Dan, what about
No,
Dan?
I'm
He's-
next year.
Dan is
he's
also up for reelection.
Yes.
I am?
Yeah,
Dan.
because your term runs through 2024.
We
So it
had this
ends
discussion.
December. of
All right, so
2024.
So the two of you have
So then
to
I have to get.
hit the campaign trail.
Then you want to swap?
Yes.
Nice.
So Diane, hold on, it is not Michael. It
It's
is
Diane.
I end this.
Dan and Anne, so
Anne,
we
Dan.
need, Anne is the other one, so Anne,
I time out.
time's out,
I'm done.
thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Um.
I gotta put you on one of the library cards.
I am, Suzanne.
Alright, so Anne terms out, so we need somebody to run for that seat. There's 3 seats up this year. Dan, can run for reelection. On his, and if you can campaign on your Sterling, buildings and grounds.
I'd rather
record.
campaign on my side, picture as a separate session platform that I've been trying to do for 15 years.
And Diane is maybe gonna run it again. To be determined. To be oh, don't. Oh, that was funny. All right, so, that's that is not.
So we have to
Budget.
vote on the proposed. budget.
So, yeah, so just to give you, and we will say it in a way that makes sense in our budget mailer. But we are looking at pulling $2,260,000 from the reserves. 2 million of that is, of course, for the HVAC. And then the other amount we will fold into the budget over the next 5 years. And what you're looking at is an increase of $17.71 for the entire year.
Percentage wise.
Yeah, a 5.13% increase is $17.71 if you live in $1 million. For the year.
Well, everybody lives in a
And it's still under the cap.
Nobody lives in $1 million house.
It's
anymore.
under the cap
That's what you
by,
gotta say. It's
by
under
one,
the cap.
it's under the cap by 1,000.
But that, whereas we are under the cap.
We are
all
under the cap,
caps, Yes, under the cap.
We should make it that.
All right, so I'll make a motion to accept the proposal for the budget for fiscal year 2025.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Good job, Kelly.
Motion passes for the budget. Okay, what else? Okay, this-
I think that's
Okay.
it.
No public left.
Wait, hold on, I gotta see if Nada had any
Yes.
questions.
Legally.
Tell Robert, congratulations.
Can't use you as a proxy.
So,
Can't be doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, there's no executive session. Dan?
I make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:27.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
All right.